So, all right. So the first menu here is, and this is going to be for your main menus, and then of course your subs in between your mains. But your first main menu is going to be for race info, and then of course you have all of your sub menus here. Now I'm not going to go through and explain every single one of these. You can refer to your owner's manual, but I might explain a few of them, but I don't want to make a half-hour video though either. So you can go into these and access this information basically, and then or delete this information if you're on the racetrack or using the race timers and that as well. So this is kind of a general overview of main menu number 1. Okay, just over at the bike real quick, I'd like to remind you though, if you're going to get into these menus, it's going to be through set. All right, and then if you make adjustments, you use both, either you use the rocker switch, trip, or set to make an adjustment. But you're entering your menus that we're talking about through the set button. Okay, so now on to the second major menu, and that's going to be your setup menu. And I would imagine that most of you guys will probably be interested in what's in here. There's a lot of practical and useful settings in these submenus. Now I've already done a video on DDC, but this is going to be menu 2, your setup menu. And if you enter in here, the first place you're going to, or the first thing you're going to see is your DDC system, and you can check that video if you want to here. I'm going to just come in a little bit closer here. But one thing I wanted to mention here is for the front, don't forget here you have to have that spring travel sensor if you're going to get both rebound and compression for the front. Otherwise, this is what you get right here. Then as you continue on, toggling down, you enter into the next, so you'd exit out of DDC, and then you can go on to the next submenu within the setup menu, which is equipment. So in here, there's a lot of good stuff that many of you would certainly be interested in. So the first thing you come across, though, is actually an option, and I just put it here in general for the alarm system if you have an alarm system. I don't, so I don't have much information on that. The next one's going to be to set your clock. The next, I guess I'll call it these sub-menus. The next one is to adjust your display brightness for your tachometer and for your main display. And then the next one is going to be a warn speed. That's I haven't read too much into that, but I think warn speed is if you want to set a predetermined speed that you don't want to go above, you can set it to on, and it'll let you know on the display. Warn lamp is if you have a light out, so if you want to set it to on, it'll give you a malfunction light or something to that effect, and warning you that you've got a lamp burned out. I think it's set to off by default. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, so the next 3 here are displays that you can either turn off or on in your main display on your home screen. So for example, the bank display, the degree of bank, you can set that on and then set its refresh to a fast, medium, or slow. And then of course your traction control and your brake displays for your home screen can also be toggled on as well. I put option here because some bikes may not come with the traction control, and so you may not get that, so that's why I put option. I saw in the owner's manual that there's also a sub-menu for units, but I don't see that on my bike, so you could change over to the metric system rather than, say, the conventional system that some other countries use. But I don't see it, so you may have it, I don't. Okay, so that is the equipment submenu within your setup menu, your second main setup menu, and then from there, your third submenu is going to take you from your setup into the racetrack submenu, and then you have submenus within that. Now, there are some things here that, we're really only going to apply to, I'm going to guess, the hardcore guys out on the tracks, racers, guys and gals out there that want to set up some options. There may be some race packages that you can get. But at any rate, there are a couple of things in here that would be relevant to the street, though. For example, when you enter the Racetrack submenu and you have your submenus here, your gear shift, at what RPM, and I'm sorry, gear shift light, what RPM you want the gear shift light to come on at, you adjust it here. And then if you want it to go off at a particular RPM, which is kind of, I don't know, interesting, but you can set that as well. You can also set the brightness of your gear shift light and the frequency at which it flashes at. I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 options, like for, oh gosh, what is the unit of measurement? Hertz, I think, and then 8 or megahertz or something to that effect. And then from there, you go into your lap timer display versions, which ones you want on your home screen. Now, I don't know too much about this because, quite honestly, I haven't tried to use any of the lap timers. And all of this has to do with your lap timers and really track-oriented features. So they're here. I listed them. Here at Run, you get to set what lap timer you want to display on your home screen. Then you have Hold, DebTM. I need to read more on that. I'm honestly not really sure about that one, what it is. Here, this is Blip, and I took a note on that one. The light, there's an LED light that will come on, like a green LED light on your instrument cluster for your fastest lap expected. So the light comes on for fastest lap expected. And then trigger, or trig, I think is what it's referring to. What you want to trigger your lap timer to come on with, whether it be the bright switch for your headlights or some sort of a option like an infrared detector of some sort used on the racetrack. And then finally you can turn your and adjust your pit limiter. So you can play with that to whatever speed you want to try and get it set at for a particular track. I don't think too many racetracks use that, but then again, I don't go on racetracks too much, but I don't know, maybe you might know more about that than me. And then finally, I'm just going to put here as another submenu. I don't have my plug inserted yet because my bike's not broken into, so I don't know exactly what everything looks like here, in the user submenu. But everything's custom. You can adjust your ABS, your traction control, and your dampening and everything, all custom. You can select how you want it to play in any configuration you want. Okay, so again, just want to scan across the menus here so you can see these if you want to take any notes yourself, or if you just want to refer to this at the end. It's a lot, and then of course I'm sure you'll do your own reading if you're interested in any of the sub menus. Okay, and now this is for this is a little bonus. I got this at a training that I went to at a local dealership, and this isn't information that I could find anywhere, so I just thought I'd share it. What this is here, and then there's another page I'll show you in a second. Let me try to stay in frame on this. This shows you all of your factory modes that are already preset from the factory, how each one of those modes behaves as far as the ABS, the DDC, the traction control, your engine, and, as far as torque and all that good stuff, throttle response. So let's just take a look at this real quick, and I think that you might appreciate this as well as just part of general reference for you. So for example, for the ABS behavior, let's kind of zoom in a little bit here. I'll do my best. For ABS, in rain, you can see here all of the different features that you're going to receive as a factory setting for the behavior of ABS in each one of these modes. So for example, in rain, the ABS is definitely going to be on, and the combined braking or the unified braking is going to be set to ideal. What ideal means, you know, something that maybe BMW could clarify, but rear ABS is definitely on, and stoppie detection is at maximum. If you're in sport mode, again, I'm not going to go through all these. You can just kind of read it though, but it says ABS is on, race ABS. In sport mode, combined brake is ideal, rear ABS is on, and stoppie detection max. So basically the same as rain. So as you go further out, race mode for ABS, you can see is reduced. For the combined braking, it's on. Your ABS is on. It says that. Sorry about this. I got coffee on it and everything when I was at the training. And then anyway, stoppie detection's reduced. And then when you're in slick mode, obviously you're going to have some things that are turned off. But so you can see that. All right, same thing with DDC. Now DDC, this is kind of a general thing here. You can adjust the modes in any one of your adjust your settings in any one of these modes. So there's DDC behaviors for your factory modes, and then of course there's slick and user, but you can adjust in there as well. For the traction control, here you can see what the behavior is for each one of the rider modes. So for example, in let's just go to race for a minute. For in race, the traction control support is minimum. Wheelie detection is in the middle, and here the traction control shift support is off. So here, what that means is on your the switch on your lever here. Let me go over to it real quick. All right, sorry guys. Your slick switch here, if you want to call it the slick switch, that will only work if you are in the slick mode. Then you have access to adjusting the traction control on the fly. Okay, so back over to this, sorry. I do believe you should also be able to access on the fly your traction control in user mode as well. All right. So last but not least here to the engine and throttle response and all that good stuff. So you can see here what your torque curves just kind of in general would be for each mode, reduced obviously in rain. Throttle response is going to be softer, and then your other modes of course are optimal. Engine brake, max, and then reduced somewhat for slick. And I guess if you get the pit lane limiter if you turn it on in any one of the modes. All right, guys, well, that was just a little bonus there. I hope this helps some of you guys out. I know I'm going to be using this video for myself personally after I make it. It took a little bit of time to get these menus together and the submenus and the sub-menus, but kind of crazy. But hey, if it helps you out, great. I guess that's about all I can say right now, and I think that I'll have a little bit more information on the user submenu once I get the plug installed and I've got my limiter turned off after break-in. Anyways, guys, enjoy. Thanks a lot.